Nandu Asrani is a Sindhi businessman whose family comes from Shikarpur in Sindh. The family has been trading and in banking for centuries. In this talk, Nandu speaks about the history of his family's business, and he also shares some of the business secrets he learned from his grandfather, which have helped him to be successful in business and also to have an interesting life. The talk was part of an event hosted by the K.R. Kama Oriental Institute around the book Sindhi Tapestry.
In my essay in the book, I've written about our family business history right from 1898 to the present, where my great grandfather, Kodumal Asrani, set up a trading firm alongside. There were 20 or 22 other similar trading firms, most of them from Shikarpur, Sindh. And this trading firm involved, it involved a three-way trades of goods, handicrafts, and spices and other things. A three-way trade between India, Russia, and Iran. And it was extremely profitable and extremely viable. It went on till the next 2 decades, little more than 2 decades. It was only after the Russian Revolution, a few years after the Russian Revolution, that things went very bad because there was a devaluation in the Russian currency, and most of them went bankrupt. They all had to shut shop. My great grandfather he salvaged whatever he could, but yet he was almost near bankruptcy and he had to shut down and start all over again. And I've also spoken about my grandfather's experience in business and setting up offices, Shikarpuri finance offices in Trichinopalli and Bombay. And now he faced setbacks, especially after the partition. I have also written mainly about his advice given to me at various stages in my life and my career. And I was lucky in the sense that when I started my business and when I was young and when I started my professional life, he was in his 60s and he was fairly active in business and he had a sharp mind. And his pieces of advice and ideas and suggestions, motivation have not only helped me in my business and my general life in general, but has also made me lead a very interesting life. I've been able to do so many things, so many businesses, so many sports, all because of a basic underlying philosophy and his ideas and his suggestions. We had this habit as a family, joint family, to all sit down together and talk about the past, the stories of business stories of my grandfather, his father, and his father and his Nana, who was one of the most wealthiest, prosperous businessman and philanthropist in Chicago. So we were lucky. I was very lucky in that sense that I had somebody at that age and with such wonderful experience in business, handling setbacks and failures, and giving me such nuggets of advice, which I think I've covered in the book. And also, apart from business, a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of interesting anecdotes from the past, like how we Sindhis have this habit of scotch. It's not something new. It's there since hundreds of years. In fact, he even told us the brands which his father and his grandfather used to have in those days. So it's a lot of interesting stuff. Anyway, coming back to the essay. So there were four important things which he emphasized in a nutshell. So the first one is that whatever the case may be, your reputation has to be intact. Your reputation has to be fantastic in business. The way you conduct yourself in business, the way you conduct yourself in life, in relationships, and especially in business, it is the most important asset in the balance sheet. I mean, you can go bankrupt, which my great grandfather went through, but because he paid back everything somehow or the other and managed to get back on his feet, he could start the extremely successful Shikarpuri banking business in Trichinopalli and subsequently in Bombay. So he said, if your reputation is good, things generally work out well, and people trust you. That is the number one thing you can do in business, which I have really practically applied all my life. No matter what, I have made sure that money has been paid back to lenders, suppliers are paid on time in every time. So the second thing is, which I think is a general trait in most Sindhis, I think, is basically to develop, to make people like you. Because in business, he gave me this bit of advice that you don't need to be very shrewd or very smart or very calculative. Of course, you need to have calculations in place and things like that. What it means that people like you, if people genuinely like you, uh, and this is something which you can't just put on an act. You have to develop that likability, that people actually like you. So if people like you, obviously they would like to do business with you, and that is what I have consciously tried to create in myself, and which has worked very well in from the day I've started my business, my advertising agency. So that is something which I think is invaluable, and I suspect the very fact that Sindhis have dispersed all over the world, especially after partition and much before that also, they have easily blended into local communities, local cultures. They have become part of the local population, and that's the reason I think they have succeeded. I mean, Sindhis are generally very likable people, and that is the second thing. The third thing is that one should be very flexible and nimble footed, not only in business, in life, but probably more in business. That if things don't work out, you should take a quick decision, and this has helped me tremendously. It has helped me in the sense that there are so many ventures as an entrepreneur you start, and then because of so many factors, you just don't want to shut it down. So, but if you're flexible, you're quick, you decide fast, you can get out of trouble. So that flexibility is again something which I think Sindhi, it's a common trait. They are quick to move on, quick to restart, quick to adapt to new ideas, to new people. So I think that is a very invaluable asset. I mean, in this book, there is a chapter written by Atul Khatri, which is absolutely fascinating. I mean, he was a businessman who was dealing in, I think, software or something, and he at the age of 45 or 50 something, he became such a famous. He turned himself around, reinvented himself, and today I think he's the topmost stand-up artist, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, this is something which many Sindhis possess. And the fourth is, of course, that he said that whether whatever you do, you should always do some charity in some form. I mean, in the sense, help the needy in whatever capacity you can. Not necessarily in terms of money, but in terms of time, effort. So my grandfather's Nana, which is his maternal grandfather, Nana, he had set up a big hospital in Shikarpur. So he was Rai Bahadur Udavdas. He had set up Tarachand. He had set up a huge hospital in Shikarpur, which is yet functional today. It's absolutely free for all. And my grandfather and his father set up, constructed a hospital in Trichinopalli in my great grandmother's name, which is yet functional and is now run by the local authorities. And we also, as a family, do whatever we can by way of helping the needy. So that is something which I think we follow religiously. So these four uh, nuggets of advice and wisdom have helped me enormously in my entire life, not only in business, but in many facets of life, in sports and other activities. I've done so many, I've started so many businesses as an entrepreneur. Some are successful, many have failed, but that has not really affected me much because after hearing these stories of partition, not only my family but other families, how they had the tenacity to get up and start again. They could have resorted to violence. They could have, complained. They could have done so many other things, but they just they just, as a Sindhi trait, they just decided to just, brush everything apart and get back to trying to rebuild again, which is, I think, a phenomenal trait in our community. And I'm really proud of that fact. And that keeps me going in the sense when you know that these guys, like my grandfather and their generation, have actually, pulled it off, and they are so successful in a short period of just 20, 30 years after the partition, or maybe less than that. So that is something which is a very motivating factor for me. So that is a trait in Sindhis. I mean, when people talk to, when people talk about Sindhis as snakes, some proverb which says, some saying that "Saap ya this thing pehle Sindhi ko maro," which is absolutely absurd and stupid. I get pretty angry at that. I've mentioned it in my book that Sindhis are definitely no snakes at all. You visit any Sindhi's house and you will know that how generous we are, and the first thing we'll offer you is a drink or scotch. So you can't really talk about Sindhis as snakes, but I would put them as, I would say that they are spiders. A spider is somebody with a lot of resilience, lot of perseverance, and they keep falling from their web and they fall down, and when we clean their houses, the next day you see they are again rebuilding their web or their base or whatever. So that is what a Sindhi is all about, with a strong character, with a never say die spirit. And that is what I hope I have tried to explain in the chapter, and I hope it reaches across to people, and people change their perception of Sindhis. So I hope that this book reaches out to many other people besides Sindhis. It's a fabulously edited and compiled book. Very amazing stories and very amazing things about culture, food, religion, business, way of life, and stories on partition. It's absolutely fascinating.